officially ready to start sewing. What you will need to do is you will need to find your needle that came with your kit and the thread that came with your kit as well. When you get your thread out, a good rule of thumb is to take your yarn and measure about the length of your arm. You don't want to get much more because then it's going to get knotted easily. So just go like this and use about that amount of yarn. You will take your scissors. Remember, cut your thread at an angle because it will make it easier for you to thread. And then thread your needle. Okay, I already have mine threaded, so I will set that aside for future use. And step number 7, we are going to be stitching 1/2 inch from the outer edge. That is what you marked in the last step. All right, you are going to use a double thread and a needle, and we're going to use the back stitch that you practiced Monday and Tuesday in class because it's a very strong stitch. It will hold your pillow together pretty well. You want to make sure that your stitches are not bigger than 1/2 inch each. Any bigger, we could just get gaps in our pillow. All right, be sure to leave the opening between your notches open. We do not want to sew between here. Remember, we have to flip and stuff your pillow eventually. A good rule of thumb is just pick one of the notches and that is where you want to start. When you get to the corners, you're gonna kind of just pivot your fabric and just continue along. Okay, so remember with the back stitch. Okay, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna come up through. Okay, and I'm gonna turn this to get a little bit better angle for me. I'm gonna go down. Take your time. There is no rush. Okay. Turn your fabric as you need to so that you have a better surface to work with. Okay, I'm going to come back up. Oops, looks like my knot came through a little bit. All right, and then remember with the back stitch, I go back to this previous one. Okay, and I'm going back through. So I come back up through the bottom, go back to my previous stitch. Okay, you are going to do this until you get all the way around to the other niche or notch. You are probably going to run out of thread eventually, so remember in the video from Monday, you learned how to tie your knots off. Make sure you are doing that properly so that you do not get gaps in your pillow, and then you will just have to rethread your needle and continue going. All right, so go ahead and start trying this on your own. Or from here all the way down to here, and I've got about this much thread left. At this point, this is probably a good place for you to tie a knot and then throw the extra thread away into your trash can and get some more thread. So remember, I'm going to go through, I'm going to find my last stitch, and we are going to make a knot like you guys learned in the video from Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to do that one more time just to make sure that it is nice and strong. Okay, at this point I can find my scissors and I can clip. Remember, don't cut off the knot or that would be going against what we just did. Take this thread out, put it in the trash can on your table, grab your thread, remember arms length around, and continue going. When you restart, make sure you are starting by that line that you just finished. If you don't, then you're going to have the possibility of a hole, and we don't want that, okay? So once you get it rethreaded, continue sewing, and then once you get to the end, like we just did, knot it and keep going. The question you may have is, well, I'm done, I need to continue going, so what do I need to do? So when you get to the end, you've knotted it off, you've got your new thread and needle. What you're going to do is you are still going to be working on that black line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from the bottom like I have been doing. I don't want that big, okay? And then pull my thread all the way up. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to that last thread where I ended, okay? And I'm going to go back through that. By going back to that original place where you left off, that is going to be connecting your line, so that way when you get to the end, you won't have a hole in that place, okay? So every time that you have to restart because you ran out of thread, always come up and then go back to where you just left off, okay? So keep practicing on your own now.
Good.